All right, for Todd, Trevor, and myself, that does it for us. We got to go racing out at Circuit of the Americas. Join the guys in the booth and say hello, of course, to Jamie Little.
No Star Spangled Banner. I'm never watching NASCAR again. Boy, this race is going to be fucking predictable, but I'm here to watch it anyway.
Circuit of the Americas. Welcome to the Expel 225, live from Austin, Texas.
Didn't mean to hit mute there, my bad. Welcome to Austin. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We'll do battle. Yeah, I've lost 2 subscribers the last couple of days. I just run everyone away. I can't help myself. Let me tell you, I didn't sleep worth a shit, so I'm watching this race, and then I'm watching the Xfinity race, and I'm going to fucking bed. No stage breaks will hopefully speed this process along.
Austin, Texas. We have 3 races of action coming your way, but we are kicking it off with the truck series.
No stage breaks. It's like they're going to suddenly rediscover how awesome races are when you don't throw cautions for no reason. Kevin Harvick in the booth for trucks.
This man has accomplished in his career. I think a lot forget. He ran in this truck series for many years. 19 wins. So welcome back, Kevin, first off. But you just got out of your cup car. What are the track conditions like for these drivers?
Harvick, what's that nasty cut on your finger?
And I can tell you, as a driver, the first hot day of the year definitely gets your attention, so they will have to deal with the heat today. But the first thing is going to happen.
We do give out stage points at lap 12 and the completion of lap 24, but there will be no cautions for stages.
There are several lanes. If you get pushed to the outside of the curb, it gets really rough.
Kyle Busch will probably lead every lap, and hopefully the race will be over quick.
Don't lose any spots either.
Kyle Busch is part of my parlay. My parlay for the weekend is Kyle Busch, A.J. Allmendinger, and Kyle Larson. But if Parker Kligerman wins, I get money. And if Ty Gibbs wins the Xfinity race, I get money. Haven't made a cut pick yet.
They're going to play a big role in this race today. And there's going to be differing strategies. We're not taking stage breaks.
I wish I wasn't tired, but I'm very, very sleepy.
So, for example, look at Ross.
I woke up way too early and played drums all day. So tired I don't even feel like taking a shower.
And then around 23 and be set to go to the
Boy, Ross Chastain looks stoned in that picture. And can I say once again, it is really good after shitty Atlanta last week to be back at home watching NASCAR on television.
He knows he's going to go race for a championship, so he might pit around lap 8 or 9 or so in the first stage and forego those stage points and then race to the end of the second stage and try to gain those points. I know it sounds a little confusing. It isn't. And I'm here with Kevin Harvick, NASCAR champion, to walk you through it all.
Yeah, so many unknowns. We're excited for this one.
Well, I can tell you, what if that all doesn't happen, Mike?
Oh, that's
because
right.
really, this race is going to unfold when you either make the first green flag run and have to pit, or the first caution comes out. When the first caution comes out, if it comes
Every
out,
driver is so excited that there's no stage cautions. They're all so fucking giddy about it.
You better make a new plan while you're sitting on top of that pit box. So the crew chiefs will be very important today, and what happens with the strategy.
That's why we love racing. We don't know. There's so much unpredictability, but one thing is true, there are a lot of storylines. We have 2 pit road reporters covering all the action, Heather DeBow and Jamie Howe. Jamie, you're up first.
Well, with no stage breaks today, it really increases the likelihood that we're going to see some green flag pit stops, and we don't see them that often anymore. So what changes from an execution standpoint? Really nothing. They still need fuel, they need tires, and any desired adjustments. But it's where the human element comes into play, especially for that race car driver behind the wheel. Now, when they're at race pace, the speed limiter comes up a lot faster. So no speeding on pit lane, clean into the marks so that the crews are able to do their work over the wall. But then when they exit pit lane, they also have to keep in mind that that race is still going out on the racetrack, and their tires are not going to be up to temperature for 3 or 4 corners. They're going to have to stay patient so they don't go any further back. Heather?
Well, the team with the best pit stall for today's race is defending race winner Zane Smith. Now, why is pit stall number 1 the best? It is the easiest stall to get in and out of. Now, drivers will have a clear...
Logano definitely deserved to win last week. He was the best car. If Keselowski had won, I would have made like $40 though, so fuck Joey Logano.
Depending on what's happening during pit stops, other trucks might be coming up pit
I've already told everyone about the weird time we had in Atlanta last week.
So they'll want to avoid contact because that could be costly later in the race. Jamie?
Thank you, Heather. Certainly a place we will keep our eyes on. Well, you see it there, 36 trucks ready to go for the first road course race of the season. Let's now go trackside for the Command.
Truck still races Sonoma this year, right?
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, let's welcome the service director from Porsche Austin, James Purpura. Drivers, start your engine!
Why did they cut to a mom? Is that the new thing? They're going to show clowns instead of children now?
At one of the most beautiful tracks on this circuit, 42 laps of twists and turns await. This is Austin.
Oh, God, I want to go to bed. I'm so sleepy. Kyle Busch is in this truck race. I should have just took a nap through the truck race. Nah, I would have laid there wide awake watching the whole fucking thing, but it'd feel good to be laying in bed right now. So my schedule today is truck race, eat something, Xfinity race, sleep, and then wake up in the middle of the night and play like NASCAR Thunder or something. I am 4 races into my NASCAR Thunder 2004 season mode I'm doing. Managed to win the first 4 races. The hardest one was Rockingham. Daytona was a close race. I took 2 tires on the last stop and got a big gap, and they couldn't catch me by the end. Rockingham was brutal, but I won. Las Vegas was... I couldn't get a bigger lead than half a second. They stayed up my ass, and then after pit stops, I really figured out how to drive the damn place, and I drove off to about a 1.5-second lead. Atlanta, I think Atlanta's my best track in NASCAR Thunder 2004. I won that race by 12 seconds. It went green all the way, and I won by 12 seconds. I think the next race is Darlington, and I'm pretty good at Darlington in that game. What's up, Michael? Oh, you weren't able to put the parlay in? Damn. Well, I guess. Well, I felt really good about this parlay if you could have got that one in. Because, I mean, I feel like I nailed it. I know Larson qualified like 13th, but taking a Hendrick car to win the Cup race, AJ to win Xfinity, and obviously Kyle Busch going to win this one, so... Oh, well. If Parker pulled a miracle today, I'd get good money out of this. Parker might not have been a bad bet for the Xfinity race. Parlay for Xfinity and Cup? Okay. You sent me Cup odds. Let me tell you. So, Xfinity Cup parlay. We still can get that. Obviously, AJ Allmendinger for Xfinity. And... let me look at the lineup again for Cup, because I know they qualified, and it's going to help me figure out what I want to do. Let me go to NASCAR.com, where it says click here to see the full lineup, and then you click the link, and you have to click another link to actually get to the fucking lineup. God, I'm tired. Any day now. Little NASCAR.com. I guess give me Reddick and AJ for the Xfinity Cup parlay. AJ and Xfinity, Reddick and Cup. And then I'll make a Cup pick sometime tomorrow or before tomorrow. Think long and hard on that one.
to be able to just
That's what she
be
said.
so technical with the vehicle, put it in the right spot and make lap time. But it all starts in turn 1. You go up the hill, and then you have to come all the way back down the hill and go through the.
Can I just say that no stage cautions is such a breath of fresh air? Because cautions on road courses are long enough anyway. Stage points are given after lap 12 and lap 24, but no yellows. I'm so happy.
Get all the momentum off this turn that you can, because you got to go all the way up that front straightaway, climb the hill into turn 1. What a fun layout.
This is a fun road course.
All right, trucks are on the track. Let's now take a look at today's Expel 225 starting grid. He was the fastest.
Oh, actually, stage points for stage 2 are at lap 26. My bad. It's a 12-lap stage, a 14-lap stage, and then a run to the finish. But no scheduled cautions once again.
Yeah, keep your eye on number 2, Nick Sanchez, second at Atlanta.
So happy to not be at a racetrack this week.
It'll be fun to watch his road race skills.
Never thought I'd say
We
that.
have to keep our eye on as we get rolling through the field here. Is Zane Smith? I think he's had a great.
Zane Smith would have been an okay pick for this, but go big or go home. It's either going to be Kyle Busch winning or nothing else.
Yeah, hit him up. See what he says. Let's hit him up. Hey, Zane
Reddick
Smith,
Bubba was one of the faster Toyotas. Wow.
In the Fox booth. Man, you've had a great start to the season. You ran great here last year. Obviously, it's a hot day today. What do you think about your truck? Tell us what we can expect today.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with my truck. I feel like last year we may have been a little bit better in some areas, but I feel like we have a really good long run Speedco F-150. So ready to get today going and hopefully go back-to-back wins.
Zane, it's Walter. If I'm interested in strategy, I've been talking about strategy. I never talk about that. It's going to be all over the board. Would
What?
you agree with that?
Was Mikey being sarcastic when he said that?
I mean, we won't have these stage end cautions. So,
All the drivers are so fucking happy about no stage cautions. I just think that's hilarious.
but we're
NASCAR, well, maybe we just won't throw stage cautions anymore.
so that's our plan for today.
Well, thank you for your insight there, Speedco. Have a good day. We'll be watching.
Thanks.
He sounded thrilled to be talking to Michael Waltrip.
For stories to watch. Heather DeBoe, you're up first.
Well, Jamie, it's been another impressive qualifying effort for rookie Nick Sanchez in his first start on this road course. When I talked to him earlier this morning, he said he's extremely happy to have the track position that he does here early in the race. But he said his goal for today is to pace himself. This race has the potential to be the most continuous green flag laps he has ever ran. So he has been doing
That's so fucking pathetic. Oh my god, it's such a big deal. They might have to run a lot of green flag laps today, guys.
He also said he has to stay disciplined to not burn his stuff
Oh my god.
in these opening laps. Today, he's starting fourth. Jamie Howe?
Parker Kligerman was moved to the back after the team had to swap engines in order to address a cracked oil pan. So Parker's focus shifts to patience. He's confident that he's going to be able to make up ground early, but at what expense is that question? He said the track surface is so abrasive here, and they wear through the rear tire. So he
By the way, as I said earlier, I'm 4 races into NASCAR Thunder 2004 season mode. I have a 161-point lead over Bobby Labonte.
Ladies, a lot to watch for. It's going to be fun to watch Parker Kligerman come from behind. Let's now take a look at the race analysis. What to expect for today's race.
Yeah, those stagers are interesting to me, Kevin. 12, 14, and 16. We're going to break the race up around those and caution flags. We've had a couple of races here. Todd Gilliland in the 38 truck and Zane Smith in the 38 truck last year. Really a dominant performance for both those guys, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think as you
Remember, we will still have stage cautions on standalone Xfinity and truck road races.
possibly going green, I think that makes those stage windows.
I'll allow that, I guess.
Because of the fact that you're going to have an alternate plan, and you're going to have to be able to run a full run on fuel, unless you're on a different strategy. But you have the capability to run a fair amount further than each one of those stages.
It's interesting. It says pit window, defer to the crew chief. I deferred to about 10 of them this morning, and all of them had a different answer to the question.
And some are nervous. They haven't been in this situation in a while. They really had to work those computers, so I can't wait to see what everybody decides to do today. Well, we have 2 on board. You see Daniel Dye. He's got his work cut out for him starting in the back. DeLand Motorsports and Outdoors. DeLand, Florida is where he comes from. And the 99 of Ben Rhodes, he's got the driver's eye. I love this. So, Kevin, you carried this for us. I love this perspective.
Yeah, and this is
The driver's eye cam looks great on road courses.
You're going to learn when you're looking forward is how steep that hill is in turn 1 and the perspective that they get coming down the hill. But the other thing you're going to learn is how rough this racetrack is. You have to run over a lot of curbs. You have to go off the racetrack, outside of the curb, and outside of those curbs in many spots is very, very rough.
Remember, with the temperatures in the 80s and with all these turns and twists and humps and bumps, these drivers are going to get a real workout
I think
today.
they're coming to the green next time.
It'll show you exactly what it's like.
I'm hoping the entire race goes green myself. I don't care.
Not in your sauna with the temperature at 100.
That's right.
And you don't have G-forces to deal with, and that's another couple of additional items that these guys will fight today.
These guys trained just a couple laps yesterday in qualifying. We saw them just drenched in sweat when they got out of their trucks. We saw Ben Rhodes. You guys mentioned that'll be fun to watch. He's starting back in 13th, so he'll definitely be mired in some traffic at the start of this race. Now, we had some issues in qualifying, and that leads to 11 trucks going to the back of the field, so that'll be something certainly to watch.
Yeah, we saw a couple of expired engines, wounded engines yesterday with some missed shifts, or in Parker Klickerman's case, it sounded like the oil pan broke. You know, we've seen stuff that happens to the vehicles that NASCAR lets you change from brake rotors or whatever the scenario is. And
I like how I was all on Larson most of this week, but I'm taking Reddick for the parlay.
Guys, you mentioned Parker Kligerman, Matt Kraft, and Matt DiBenedetto. These are guys that can come up and win this race, so it's going to be really fun having guys that have the potential to win starting first.
Jordan Taylor qualified top 5 in the 9 car for the Cup race.
Turns 18 years old today, so here's your first birthday present. You get to start in the back of the field and work your way through. But he was somebody to watch. He won at Mid-Ohio last year in the Arc of Menard Series, so certainly some talent to watch. His brother Tanner with a really good starting effort. Nice qualifying effort yesterday. He'll roll off 9th.
We got several teenagers in the field today, and that's fun to have. You know, you see these kids, Kevin, you know how the world works. You go go-kart race, then you get your bandolero, you make your way to quarter midgets. The path to NASCAR is clear, but it's so fun to see guys and girls that are teenagers that have made it to this level already.
Yeah, and it's a lot different than how you and I grew up. It's iRacing, it's go-karts, it's Trans Am, it's ARCA. And then you come to the trucks and go to the Xfinity and Cup Series. These kids have so much more experience.
Oh, so Dylan bit the bullet and bought NASCAR 21. And I told him if when he comes here tomorrow, he's got to sign in on my PlayStation and download NASCAR 21 to my PlayStation so I can try it at least while he's here.
That too. But when you walk through, you see somebody like Zane Smith. He's smiling ear to ear. This is his jam. He loves.
Because I know NASCAR 21 is bad. But I got to try it for myself, and I'm refusing to pay for it.
So he's not sure what to expect here today. A little bit of everything in the truck series.
Daniel Dye really needs a good day. He did a nice job last week in Atlanta. They had an engine issue. They got it corrected, lost a couple laps, got him back, and finished in the top 20. But then issues with that truck in qualifying yesterday. They had to change the engine and rear gear. So he's certainly hoping for a smoother day today.
Seems like a
hey,
short
Tino.
race, but it's not. These drivers have their work cut out for them. 143 laps.
Chastain, Kyle Busch, Tom Majeski, and Nick Sanchez, followed by Eckes and Carson Hocevar, who will make sure we have plenty of intentional cautions today, right?
Where they need to be. Turn 1 will remind you really quick.
Those two guys on the front row are pretty confident about what they have going up that hill.
20 turns, 3.3.
I think if this goes green all the way, Kyle Busch leads every lap. I don't think it'll go green all the way, though. I'm just hoping it does.
And outside, Kyle Busch side by side. As they come to the start-finish line.
We have the choose rule today on the road course, too. I don't know if that'll even affect anything. God, the way they get their turn 1, 4, and 5 wide, they run all over the place.
I don't even know how you call that, Mike, but it's 5, 6 wide, and you know, I think from a driver's standpoint, you don't want to tear the fenders off right here, but you know that.
Jordan Taylor looked really fast. I don't think he has a chance at winning tomorrow, but he was fast. He can go fast, that's for sure.
Trying to take advantage of the guys in the middle are trying to protect themselves, and
Chastain got out to a good gap on Kyle Busch. Not a big one, but better than I thought. Ooh, the 20 truck's got a major left rear tire rub in the pack. Ooh, runs off the track.
Yeah, that looks like could have been an engine failure. Might cause a
Are you sure?
early in the go.
I thought it looked like a left rear tire rub. Of course, great camera work there by Fox. Couldn't see shit. That looked like a tire rub. Maybe it was engine. Eckes into third. Good Lord. Casgrella sent it in there on Infinger.
Just forcing your way in. to the inside of Grant Enfinger and made it inside of him. Hasn't completed the pass, but that was a strong move.
Yeah, and so many of these corners are enticing to turn in early. It's one of my biggest problems that I have here. There's so much room on the entries to the corner, but a late apex around the center of that.
Sanchez blows through a corner. It's going to give Hocevar a spot. Enfinger goes wide, loses several spots. The 20, yeah, it's a fucking tire rub on the 20. He's dumb. Oh my God, the engine failure. No, he's got a tire down. He's limping it back around. Chastain, Bush, Eckes, Majeski, and Zane Smith, the top 5. Going through what I like to call the line at Disneyland portion of the track. Or the line at the bank, if you want to be more relatable, because most of us can't afford to go to Disneyland.
Here, 20 turns, left and right. So much fun to watch. Ross Chastain was in a league of his own yesterday. So far, looks like he has things under control.
They're going to make it to the end of lap 1 without a yellow.
Winner, Christian Eckes. He's on cloud 9 right now. A lot of motivation, a lot of momentum.
Ross leads it.
You know, Debbie, it doesn't matter what sport it is. Momentum is big. Saw team owner Bill McAnally in the garage earlier. All the team was there.
Kyle Busch really closes up on him in turn 1. Ross is a little better off the corner. I like the way Kyle's truck turned in the center.
We talked about earlier was going to be difficult to do, but a lot of pace in the 19 truck.
He's finished in the top 10 in all 3 races so far this season.
Man, my man Parker's not even top 20 anymore. He started 17th.
Going in the right direction for that young man.
Sorry, Mike. I mean, he's just getting a crash course.
And the 20 didn't make it back to pit road, and he stopped on the track. Did he get to pit road and just not go down it, or? And we got a full course yellow.
First time today. Ed Jones sitting on the track.
Oh well.
Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, and
Here we were hoping for a long green run. Never mind that shit. When's the last time history felon driver won in another driver's car? Jamie McMurray in the Cup Series fall race at Charlotte. That's the last major one I can remember. I watched that race. I remember watching that Charlotte race that McMurray won. I think it was rain delayed. I remember Jamie wearing the fire. He was wearing Sterling's fire suit, and it looked fucking hilarious because Jamie was a little skinny guy. Sterling was bigger, and the fire suit was just hanging off of him. Looked comfortable, though. Looked like he was wearing pajamas. Yeah, it's been over 20 years now. God help us all. Yeah, Bowman had a really good race driving Junior's 88 car. He won the pole at Phoenix and was front row going into turn 1, and him and Kenseth got together, and Kenseth spun, and Bowman went wide, and I think Logano and Kyle Busch got by him, and I think Bowman ended up, 4th? So, yeah, Bowman got close. Matt Kenseth got close one time in the 42 car when they fired Kyle Larson. It was Indianapolis. Kenseth had a shot late in that race. But that doesn't really count because Larson got fired. Kenseth wasn't filling in. He replaced him. Who gives a fuck?
It's back with a huge doubleheader. First, Brandon Crawford and the Giants battle Aaron Judge and the Yankees. Then Bryce Harper and the Phillies take on Corey Seager and the Rangers. It all begins next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox. So we just saw Bryce Harper. He's a NASCAR fan. He comes to a couple races a year. It's good to see him and his family out in Las Vegas. We are under caution for the first time today as we work lap 3 right there. Ed Jones.
They should be coming to the one to go right now. All they had to do was get that truck off the track, get him back to pit road. We should be coming to the one to go right now.
Because as he came through the S's, it was already, the rear end was moving back and forth, and then the tire drug something on the chassis, and now he's got flat tires.
So he was parked on the track in turn 15. He brought it in, and we did have a few takers on pit road. A couple of the guys who are running toward the back. What does that do for them now looking forward?
Well, Kevin, you talked about if they're in the back, maybe there's a chance to get some track position by just getting that little bit of gas, put you on a different. What do you got to lose?
Yeah, you have nothing to lose, and the thing that I like about that is it also gives you less time with that.
Look at that. We're coming to the green. They're running this race like they should.
The choose rule, and this, to me, I think it's just pick the side that you lose the least amount of positions, and if you have a choice, I would probably pick the inside because it gets really rough outside of that curve in turn 1.
The wind's blowing. I got my window open now. I don't know why I've had it shut.
Wide, and if you get too wide right there, there's a gravel trap, so you can lose a lot of time right there.
Yeah, and if you take the bottom, you're the one pushing people out of the way instead of somebody shoving you out of the way.
That's right.
It's gonna come to that.
It will come to that for sure.
Push will come to shove.
I like the option. It was a little bit different at Atlanta. You had 7 guys who would pick one side just because there was an advantage, but more equal here. But I think Ross Chastain agrees with you guys.
Well, I just like that you put it into the driver's decision, right? It's not just I have to go here, I have to go there. It gives you an option, and from a driver's standpoint, anytime you can have more options, I feel.
Wonder if Kyle Busch will fire off better on this restart here than he did at the start of the race.
And I think the more that the driver has to think about, the better the race will be to watch.
And I want to clear up also, that's the thing with.
And how many guys are going to get cut tires going into turn 1? Look at the damage on that one truck. I couldn't even say which truck that was. I think it was Corey Hahn. He had a lot of right front damage.
But there's not going to be a caution, and it just adds another page to the playbook.
Certainly new for NASCAR. We'll do that in all 3 series. There will not be that green and white checker at the end of the stage finish. But as Michael mentioned, they'll still get those points.
What's new is old.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's new is how these races always should have been. No fucking stupid stage cautions. How about that?
2015. So, look, that's the one thing that's great about the NASCAR mentality in today's world. Hey, we need to mix it up a little bit. All right, let's fix it.
Yeah, or try something new, like the choose cone here for the first time on road courses. So once again, Ross Chastain. He's got Kyle Busch to the outside. Christian Eckes, one to watch in the 19.
Oh, they're stacking up.
Oh, boy. They're stacking up. Ooh. They don't crash, but I think the 51's got... No, not the 51. Who was that? I forgot the Kyle Busch and the 51. Eckes, 3 wide. Woo! And Chastain has to run Kyle Busch wide to avoid Eckes. Oh, Eckes is fighting hard for this lead. This could open up an opportunity for Kyle Busch if they stay side by side. Ross lets him go, going to the S's.
On Ross Chastain, and he does it. He takes the lead.
Eckes out front.
Ross is sizing him up through the S's. You got to remain 2 tires at least on the red and white, making sure you don't get penalized. Once you leave the S's, you can kick up some dust, as we saw there.
Yeah, this battle's definitely not over. Eckes ain't checking out, although Ross goes really wide there. Oh, he's going to get it back easily here, I think. Ross rolls the center, takes it back. They're side by side down the straightaway. Kyle Busch had a bad corner. Zane Smith and Hocevar are passing Kyle Busch right now down the straightaway.
Gets around Kyle Busch, and I think he's going to bring Carson Hocevar along with him. See Hocevar there on the right side of the screen.
Look at these two. They can't shake each other.
Ross going to get the lead back. Is the 19 going to cross him over and get a runoff? No.
Just to put himself in position to get the lead. And it's like we talked before the caution came out, and you see him go wide right there to keep from running into the back.
Kyle Busch stays in front of Hocevar. I thought he was
just trial by fire.
In trouble there for a minute.
He's seeing what they are doing and knowing that he can keep up, and knowing that he can be on the offense and make moves. And now Ross has got by Christian, but he's still just getting a crash course in what needs to happen.
Ben Rhodes sizing up.
Still there. Clear.
Tanner Gray.
Clear by 1.
I think it's really fun to listen to the throttle too, Kevin. Just squeezing it. He wants to gun it, but you just got to be really use finesse on that gas pedal.
Yeah, and you know that you see him on the inside right here, and that's a tough place to not have a pass happen because of the fact that you don't get a good run off the corner, so it puts you vulnerable to the trucks behind you to get a run on you to lose the position. So got to be pretty precise.
Complete another green flag lap.
And especially with the throttle pedal, like you're saying, to make sure that, hey, what if I have to run 20 laps on this set of tires and take care of my tires? You can't just put the pedal down and spin the tires every time, because you might have to have them on that truck for a long time.
Maybe we should bring back race back to the line on road courses. Is that the one style of track we can get away with that on? Race back to the line? They'll never do it, but you can definitely tell I've been playing NASCAR Thunder. So I'm all like, hey, let's race back to the line on road courses.
Use that throttle pedal and having to actually use the brake pedal as hard as you think you need to do it. Use it and not lock up the tires, and know that you might lock up the tires, and know that you might drive into the gravel trap or might drive off the racetrack because you have real life.
Truck race here last year was pretty funny.
Consequences, but it gives you great visuals, and that's the
Look
most
at
important thing to me is
the right front on Haley Deegan's truck.
Look at this battle.
Beat to shit.
Crafton started out back.
Haley Deegan's missing a right front fender.
The front, Lawless Allen was able to get into that battle along with Logan Bearden in the 22. Matt was trying to get around Bearden. And
she's 17th with rear end damage and
he's done a nice job of fighting
front end damage. She was the truck that looked like it got the damage.
Bad Fast, he's our race winner from last year. It's the exact same truck he drove to victory lane. In fact, the 38 team has won.
Chastain checking out. Ooh, Smith and Kyle Busch touch. Chastain has almost a 2-second lead. Well, about a second and a half.
Could be a little bit of Christian Eckes holding up Zane, and Kyle got in there and said, I'm taking that spot.
Yeah, Eckes made a crazy move to get the lead, held it for a lap, gave it up, and now it's like his rear end wants to come around more than Zane or Kyle Busch's. So I think he's definitely slowing them down, and it's letting Ross start to check out a bit.
There has been very little give in Christian Eckes and trying to defend his position and do what he can do to try to keep his track position. But I believe Zane is faster than Christian. He just can't find the spot to pass.
Kyle Majeski holding down the 6th spot behind Carson Hocevar, so got some nice battles inside the top 10.
I'm impressed with that 98 of Ty Majeski. Didn't have much road course experience at all, and he's just put the hammer down, focused on getting better. Great qualifying effort yesterday. Now here, running in the 6th spot.
There's our pole sitter from Sonoma last year, Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar doing double duty today, making his Xfinity Series debut. Got a call last week that
See,
team needed a fill-in
Eckes
driver, and here he is. So he's
trying to hold off Zane Smith, and Zane Smith pulled right up on him through the S's there.
Seat time has really helped him out here.
Well, I think with Carson, he had the best tool in the garage last night with the pole sitter and Ross Chastain, and Carson has done a great job on the road courses, as you've said, and I think having Ross in that truck and being able to judge, and now you see Zane trying to make a move.
What's up, Alex? Here's Zane. He's got a nose in there under Eckes now.
Rajah Caruth in the 24 truck. We talked about you can't cut the S's. He was caught cutting the S's.
Ooh, they got Rajah Caruth. They said he cut the S's. You got to have 2 tires on the pavement. You can't have all 4 tires off on the paint. Although NASCAR kind of sucks at officiating that, because sometimes if you look closely, you'll see guys appearing to cut the track, but and Zane still can't get by Eckes. Eckes is just good enough off the corner to hold him off. And here comes Kyle Busch. Got to pass Zane Smith now, because Smith had the crappy line on the outside of Eckes going to the next corner. Eckes is a rolling roadblock. 2-second lead for Ross now.
Yeah. I think it's so wild you can hear the tires squealing when they go through these corners. That tells you the load that these drivers are feeling in these trucks.
Yeah, and right now Zane is getting antsy, and he's tried to pass in the same spot the last.
Getting antsy because we know there's no guaranteed cautions now.
Kyle's left front fender's got a little bit of it's caved in a little bit from getting into the side of Zane, but
God, I have no patience. I'd be so frustrated following Eckes right now.
And then that makes it so that he has to make up the ground going into turn 1, and he can't set up the pass going into turn 1. So now he's under pressure from Kyle Busch.
It's a really competitive top 5. Now Kyle Busch passed Zane Smith. So let's see if Kyle can get around Eckes and open up the door for Zane to follow through.
That's fair.
Maybe Zane said, you go past him. I can't get it done. You give it a try.
Working lap number 7. It's been all about Ross Chastain. He's led 5 laps.
Come on, let's see the rest of this lap.
Continues behind him. We'll be back from Austin.
Weak. Weak. They went side by side? Yeah, they went side by side. Okay. There's a Chicago street race commercial. You got snow, lucky you, goddammit. We didn't get any fucking snow whatsoever this winter. And now it's hot outside. Hailie Deegan's pitting on lap 7. She had a lot of damage. She's coming off pit road now. Don't know what the story is there. Rajay got a pass through. Hailie Deegan pitted under green. DiBenedetto's moved through the field nicely. DiBenedetto had to start way in the back because of unapproved adjustments. He's up to 14th. Maybe I should have went with him over Parker if I wanted to pick a long shot. Ozzy, what are you doing under there? Ozzy's sleeping under the table in front of me. Friesen's got a lot of rear end damage on different trucks. It's not going to hurt you though. It's the, oh boy, that left rear fender there might hurt him a little bit. That and the big caved in nose. God, Fox didn't show us any of the stacking up and all the crazy shit going on mid-pack. You're just now seeing the result of it. Another lap and Eckes is still in front of Kyle Busch. Oh, yeah, Minnesota. That Minnesota, Wisconsin area, but especially Minnesota. Freezing, butt-fuck cold. Never been. Don't know if I'd want to go, especially when it's cold. I like cool and cold weather, but I don't like that kind of cold weather. I don't want to die from just walking outside, you know. Great camera work there, Fox. Can't see a fucking thing. Heard I missed a doozy of a broadcast last week when I was at the race.
Welcome back to the Expel 225 on FS1. Jamie Little, Kevin Harvick, Michael Waltrip with you. And Ross Chastain continues to lead. He has been the standout.
Oh, Hocevar wheel hops into the corner and spins, and now you got the 0-2 spinning out somewhere else. And Hocevar makes the brilliant move of driving into the gravel. Way to go, you fucking dumbass. Hocevar's such an idiot. He's stuck. That's going to be a caution. He's stuck. At least he lost all his track position.
The truck that was just on pit road, I don't know what truck that was, but that's going to be the leader of this. He's going to have.
Harvick's got a point. Hailie Deegan's going to cycle through towards the front.
But we're getting close to the end of the stage.
Because there's about to be a caution here. And there it is. Caution's out. Oh, dude, Mississippi got fucked up by tornadoes last night. I heard about that. Yeah, Hocevar's a goddamn moron. I don't like this fucking guy. Go to the rear, you dumbass. Running fifth, he wheel hopped. I mean, it happens to everybody, but driving straight into the fucking gravel like a dumbass didn't help.
Yeah, that's a tough break, and he's definitely waiting for the tow truck.
Let's listen to the 42 radio.
Hocevar asked him to get the power steering fluid ready. He said his brake pedal went to the floor. I thought it was wheel hop. He just sailed off in the corner and spun out. Looked like wheel hop.
Stuck in the gravel. It's a bad sequence right there.
Meanwhile, pit road, all the pit crews getting ready, getting warmed up. You guys said the window opened at about lap 6, so here we are, lap 8.
And this is a perfect scenario for us to have fun. Some guys are going to say, I got to win the stage. Some guys are going to say, I want some track position. Lap 8 will allow the trucks to get all the way to the finish on another tank of gas. Let's see if we can see what happens here to Carson.
Showing the other replay.
See 02, Chris Wright get spun around there.
Tanner Gray got into these 02. Taylor Gray, excuse me.
Chase Purdy goes by in the Bama bucket.
One of them Gray boys.
And then this is what happened to Carson. You could tell just no brakes there.
Yeah, he's.
All right, you spin it.
With the brake pedal, when it goes to the floor, you just have so much.
Why'd you drive into the gravel?
I didn't know he didn't have any brakes.
Makes sense now, right?
You couldn't stop, or he would have tried to keep it rolling. But
okay, I'll give him that. He didn't have brakes.
The worst spot.
It just looked like he just looped it around and drove straight to the gravel. I was like, come on, whoa it down.
Get around under caution. They get him pulled out here.
We'll get him back to pit road. You heard it. He's going to need some help. Fix the damage. See if he can continue on. Pit stops on the other side of this break. Stay with us. You're watching the Craftsman Truck Series.
I don't like that it's not hot outside, but I wish it was cooler. Fucking hate hot weather. I hate hot weather because I don't have a fucking swimming pool. If I had a swimming pool, I'd probably love it. Of course, I've told you my dream is one day if I was rich, I would have an indoor swimming pool with a glass ceiling over it. You wish daylight savings wasn't a thing. You know what? As a guy who never goes outside, it doesn't affect me much.
Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas, where we're under caution for the second time for Carson Hocevar, getting stuck on track, and he has made it to pit lane to get some service, see if they can fix that truck up and get him back out. So this means one thing: once the pits are officially open, which they are, maybe we'll get some takers. What do you guys think?
Well, let's make sure they open pit road. I think we're going to do so. And if so,
obviously it should.
What we're hoping for, Kevin. A mixed bag.
That's right.
We're going to see 41 and 51 pit for sure, I believe. And then others will stay out and try to win the stage. Get that valuable playoff point. Get some stage points. Zane Smith was on the fence.
And this is a narrow pit road. So this is a very difficult pit road to get to from a driver's standpoint if there are multiple trucks. We see the guys that you were talking about pitting. Jamie?
For Kyle Busch, he stopped in his box as well. His crew chief for this year, Brian Patty, is very successful on road courses. He said if we can stop early. We're not going for championship points, so we can get to the end of the race on just one more stop. We're taking all the chances. Kyle was very honest. He said he felt like that win last year was taken away from him. He wants redemption today. Also, Ross Chastain is a perfectly clean pit stop.
Yeah, Kyle Busch got Bowmaned last year.
And for Zane Smith, his crew chief Chris Lawson told me earlier that if they would get a caution in the first stage, they will take the option to pit. But he is saying right now with that race truck, that first gear drive is terrible, and he's loose on the right-handers, and it carries him all the way.
Chastain, Kyle Busch, Zane Smith, the first three off pit road. A lot of trucks stayed out,
A little bit of a mixed bag.
including Eckes.
Christian Eckes stays out. We'll see what happens after this.
Saw Eckes, Majeski, and Sanchez up front. Very sleepy. Like I said, I did not get a lot of sleep last night. So on days like today, I hate double headers. I love double headers, but right now I'm hating it because I just want to go lay down. Just think right now, if we still had stage cautions, there would have been a caution for that, and then a one lap race for the stage win, and then another 20 minutes of caution. So yeah, we've been spared at least a couple of cautions today, thank God. Because they're just going to come back through the green, and they'll get stage points, and then they'll just keep racing instead of, all right, let's stop for 20 minutes and ride around under caution again.
Back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, racing from Austin.
Eckes, Majeski, Sanchez, Corey Hamm.
Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski,
And
among those who
2 laps until they give stage points.
Just a reminder that the end of stage 1 is at lap 12, but we'll stay green. So we're trying something new here.
Friesen in the back with a lot of damage.
I do too. You can see the damage here on Stuart Friesen. Let's watch this last.
They're just now showing the fucking stack up on the restart where a bunch of trucks got damaged. Crafton, Friesen, Haley Deegan.
Things get stacking up.
Oh, if Crafton looks like he avoided it, he went really wide there.
I think this is important, Kevin. This is about where our leaders are going to restart, and we know how hectic and chaotic these restarts are. You could see a good example of it right there.
Well, we saw the best truck get torn up last year, Kyle Busch, on a situation like this where he had to race with other people, and now you're back in the pack, and you know when you're going to turn 1, you got to protect yourself.
2 laps till the stage finish.
All right, Christian Eckes, first time Ty Majeski is restarting on the front row. Nick Sanchez and the 11 of Corey Heim in the second row. Green flag.
I like Eckes here.
On that hill into turn 1.
As long as he can get through turn 1. And good God almighty, they're going 6 wide.
Christian Eckes with a flawless restart once again leads them.
And Eckes way out front. Oh, Sanchez took a shot there and went wide.
That looked like Nick Sanchez had some contact, lost about 4 positions right there.
And that's a great shot because it's like.
Oh, and Crafton's in the kitty litter.
Crafton gets stuck.
Crafton got spun and his rear tires are in the dirt. I don't think he can get it moving. They'll give him a chance. Oh, no. He moved. He got it. He got it. He had enough tires on the grass to get out. Casgarala third.
What's he gonna do?
Now he's off-roading here.
On an island.
Yeah, he's just trying to find anything.
Trying to get around the sand trap.
Traction, and he's found it.
And Crafton's back on track. No caution.
It looks like our golf game, Mike.
All over the place.
When you're in the opposite fairway,
Zoom that camera in a little bit, Fox.
to get back across.
I can even trim the grass for him.
That was turn 4 where that took place, and Matt was running 11, just probably the victim of a bump gone wrong. You see Ty Majeski chasing down.
Chastain is 11th, Kyle Busch 12th, Zane Smith 14th. Remember, they were the front runners before the caution.
And he's done a great job even after the restarts in making sure that he's fast in the places where that you have the most potential to pass. And he gets off the corner really well. So Christian has been very aggressive in protecting his position, and now ultimately it puts him in a position to win the stage.
Will Matt Crafton have to pit with that grass on his grill? Maybe do some overheating? See if we can see what happens to him back here. Down low.
Yeah, you see Nick
Shit camera work. We literally can't even see Crafton.
Wide, and then everything kind of stacks up.
This is where it probably goes bad.
Oh, he got.
Oh.
Ooh.
Man.
Haley Deegan got him.
Was that Haley Deegan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Haley Deegan just hit him in the left rear.
That's his teammate. But
That's a teammate.
Of getting out of that mess. I'm just worried about overheating and that smoke I'm seeing.
Chastain up to 10th.
Been a tough day.
1 to go till they get stage points.
We're coming to turn 1 here, and on the start, everything funnels down into turn 1. But when you come off of turn 1 down into turn 2, it's like a funnel. Just keeps getting smaller. But when you go into those S's, it's like a rhythm. You have to hit the first curve in the right spot. But I guarantee you what happened was Haley Deegan hit that first curve wrong in turn 3, and it popped her over into Matt Crafton's left rear.
Just saw a hornet's nest is the best way to describe it. And Kyle Busch was right in the middle of it. Jamie?
For Matt Crafton, he is making the decision to go ahead and bring it into pit lane. He knew that he had
No shit. Look at all the gravel and grass in the grill. Of course he's got a pit. Oh, he made the decision. No, he kind of had no choice.
Fresh tires and top off the fuel. Also, remember, he didn't qualify either. He had some tire rub issues during practice. They were not able to get those fixed on pit lane, so he missed that track time as well. So it's been kind of a messy weekend for Matt Crafton. He had come up through the field, but
Chastain 8th, and Crafton's team had a tire get away. So it just went from bad to worse. His day's pretty much over. Chastain making crazy moves. Kyle Busch following him through. Zane Smith as well. Zane Smith's caught up to him.
17th to 8th in 1 lap. Man on a mission right there.
There's a lot of missions going on. There's so much.
Well, Kyle Busch is actually, the ticker's wrong. Busch got by Chastain.
Action. I love it.
Tyler Ankrum in the 16, battling Kyle Busch right now for that 9th spot.
Update your fucking ticker, Fox.
Didn't they just name yesterday or today Tyler Ankrum Day here in Austin?
Well, you missed Haley Deegan run over Matt Crafton and ruin his day.
People get their own day. Tyler's a good kid, too.
From San Bernardino,
There was a
California,
caution
North Carolina,
for Hocevar. They had a 2-lap run here to get stage points. A bunch of trucks stayed out. All the good trucks pitted. Chastain, Kyle Busch, Zane Smith are 8th, 9th, and 10th right now. Eckes is going to get the stage win.
Stage 1 here.
This is the final lap of it, and it's going to be Christian Eckes.
Kyle Busch has been in front of Ross Chastain for the last lap and a half, and the ticker still says Ross is ahead of Kyle.
Bonus point. So strange not bringing out that caution, right? This is kind of fun.
You get to win the stage point.
Is it really that novel of a concept to not throw scheduled cautions in a NASCAR race. Like, oh my God, that caution, this is so weird. It's like, no, this is just how it should be.
And you see right there in that pylon, your top 10 finishers after stage 1.
Yeah, and what's going to happen here is it's going to cycle to Kyle Busch and Ross
Busch
Chastain
up to 5th, Chastain 6th.
To get onto their strategy when they pit. So
Getting through traffic favored Kyle Busch.
between Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain.
Because Kyle been running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all day long. Now he's ahead of the guys that were ahead of him earlier.
3 wide and took that spot away. We saw, but I think lap 13, as we come back to the come back to pit road, there's going to be a lot of takers on pit road. Those guys coming in and getting their service. Look at that dive there by Ross. He's able to get around Kaz Grala in that Island Brands #1 truck.
The one thing that if I was Christian Eckes guys, you know, obviously you're worried about the caution flag coming out and not being on pit road, because you don't want the caution flag to come out and then have to pit because you lose so much more. So you got to decide, okay, my lap times are okay, but do I need to get on pit road right now so I put myself in position to not get hung out?
Kyle Busch, 3rd place.
Right now, I've got to get on pit road so that I don't lose.
The inevitable is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
If and when the caution flies again. Kevin, I had one of the crew guys tell me I got to figure it out. We need to pit 1 lap before the caution comes out.
Yeah.
Well, how do we know when that is?
That's perfect timing. Look, you have to have a little bit of luck when you're calling these races. You have to have some luck go your way when you pit and the way that the cautions fall in order to win these races.
You know, in that top 10 we showed, the one guy that I'm very impressed with, Matt DiBenedetto in 10. He was one of the 11 trucks who started in the back of the field today.
It was a rough day yesterday for Matty D. Nothing really went well, and yet was able to recover with the top 10 here.
And Parker Kligerman in 11. We told you at the top of the show, keep your eye on Parker Kligerman.
Kligerman's creeping to the front. I was really worried at the start of the race.
Is on pit road. You guys said it.
Eckes pits, Ankrum pits. So that's 2 of the trucks that stayed out there under that last caution. Crafton looks like he's getting pushed to the garage or back to his pit stall or something. Oh, the 19 stalls. Majeski getting sideways trying to stay in front of Kyle Busch. I don't know why. Majeski, you got to pit soon. Busch looking for a way by. He's got to get by before Ross runs him over.
With his pursuit of Kyle Busch. Nice job by Tom Majeski making his way up to the lead of this race.
You saw in that shot on pit road, the 88, Matt Crafton, they did push him back to the garage. His day is over.
Crafton to the garage.
Now the strategy, Kevin, is don't speed on pit road. Don't have a penalty. You put all these plays into position to turn out the way you planned it. A speeding penalty can mess that all up.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued by all of it. I'm sitting here trying to think about all these scenarios in my head, because that's what's happening on the pit boxes. All the crew chiefs are trying to put them in.
Majeski's not laying over for Kyle, but it looks like he's not going to have a choice here.
Maybe I need to hold my track position and try to run as long as I can.
Although Ross pulls up on Kyle now, it's an opportunity for Ross. He sees it, but Kyle got by Majeski just in time. Just in time.
Ross Chastain with him. Kyle Busch leading for the first time today.
Yeah, that's a good plan, I think, for somebody that knows they don't have the speed to win the race. What if you just ran your tires all the way out on your fuel and get your last set of tires later than everyone to give you an advantage?
Yeah, because right now Christian Eckes is in 31st position, right? And so he's way behind. And, from a time standpoint, so what's the time lost for Ty Majeski to just stay out there and do the best that he can in order to maintain his track position and just try to pit with these guys?
So much action so far. We have a lot more coming your way. 28 laps to go, side by side.
Who'd have thought 42 laps could feel so damn long?
Who will come out on top?
Because it feels like it's taking forever. Has everyone pit? Yeah, everybody's pit now. Except Majeski and Corey Hunt. There's a couple that haven't pitted. Oh, hey, Alex. Wooldred Spirit Airline. Good God, that's a long name. Such a long name and a two-letter comment. And an afternoon nap would be so good right now. If this was a truck race at 1.5 miles and Kyle Busch was in it, I'd be asleep right now. Joni loves Chachi. And we're back. Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Zane Smith, Tom Majeski, Kaz Grala, Parker fucking Kligerman, baby. And Kligerman did pit with the leaders under the last caution, so hell yeah. What a surprise it would be if Parker was able to get me money today.
410 of them.
Yeah. Twice once because I lost count and I'm supposed to be counting stuff.
Kyle Busch continues to lead here. Ross Chastain, Zane Smith, Ty Majeski. Remember, he is yet.
It's a pretty competitive race. Kyle can't get away from Ross.
We're just having an interesting
fucking Cup guys, though, for real.
98 strategy in Ty Majeski, and it's interesting.
You and those Haley Deegan bets. That last caution helped her out. It's got her up to 9th. But she's still got a pit again.
He's going to be in a better position, I believe.
Sooner than the cars up, than the trucks up front.
If the caution does come out and he is,
but she actually pitted under the caution before last, or under green, I should say.
He's going to have way fresher tires. So there's a few ways
Parker
that
Kligerman.
all play out.
You talked about Parker Kligerman.
I don't like that big caved-in nose on the front of Parker's truck, but it's not slowing him down.
Some radio for Parker's team. Doesn't that sound just like a race car driver? Drove into the top 5. We're pretty terrible, you know.
Yeah, and I can see exactly why it's tight. When he tells him that it's damage, it's a lot of damage.
I want my parlay to be AJ Allmendinger and Xfinity, Tyler Reddick and Cup.
Definitely not going to drive well.
Have you ever been told to shut up and drive?
AJ Xfinity, Tyler Reddick Cup.
Where maybe that would have been appropriate, but Parker's just trying to tell the team the best, what the truck's doing. Tires are chattering, and then they can go to work on a plan of how to fix it.
I like the response, though. We have a little damage. We're going to be all right.
Yeah.
From where they're standing, they're doing a great job. That is the little team that could. That Parker Kligerman is driving for. And how about Haley Deegan coming off her best finish of the year, 12th last week in Atlanta, here running in the top 10?
Yeah, great job. She had that bit of contact with Crafton. But other than that, I think she got some damage on that restart we look back at. She's had a pretty smooth day.
A lot of damaged trucks.
Getting heated up there by Lawless Allen. Allen's doing a nice job as well.
Lawless Allen.
Look at all that damage to her truck, Kevin.
Yeah. And
What are they just now noticing Deegan has damage?
It's interesting, Mike. You've been in that scenario before because sometimes it's good damage, and I don't believe that's going to be good damage, but sometimes when you can get some air onto the right front tire and keep it cooler in these situations where the tires fall off, but I believe that fender is much more important aerodynamically here than that tire being cool.
I hear you, though. That's interesting. You can see that she's struggling to stay ahead of Lawless.
So Lawless Allen, his first name is unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's his grandmother's maiden name. And as he says, we're not some wild motorcycle gang. It's actually my grandmother's.
If I was to parlay on AJ and Reddick, how much would I win?
Here in the top 10.
Got a run there.
Damn, Deegan.
Can he get the job done? Looks like he's going to make the move. Oh, and he's going to hit Kaz. That was so close.
Haley says, not so fast. I'm still here. She hangs on to that 9th spot. Jamie?
For Lawless Allen, he ran an endurance race here with Daniel Suarez of people as his co-driver just to get some more track time, some experience.
Boy, a lot of people are really not obeying the track limits through the S's.
Actually making a big difference. It's just the chemistry with that team. They're starting to show the speed that they have, and they're working.
It's kind of hilarious.
Than they did last year, and they have a better understanding of what.
Yeah, I saw a host of our spin. He didn't have brakes. He said the brake pedal went to the floor.
This is when you overshoot the corner to make a pass. He's hung down there low and trying to complete it. And look how lucky Casgrala is and doesn't even know it, I don't think.
Yeah, that looks
God
like
damn.
Right at the last second said, oh, I need another spike of the brake right here. I'm going to hit that truck. So he's getting frustrated.
Deegan's being a real pain in the ass to Lawless Allen. You know how guys race in this series. He's kicking her ass off the corner, but not enough to get by.
That's a strong move up on
And she's got the preferred line here down the straightaway going to this next corner. This is the best battle on the track right now, it looks like.
Well, we saw earlier when Kyle Busch and Chastain were battling with Eckes, they couldn't get the pass done. So it's just really difficult unless the other driver makes a mistake to make those moves.
The battle continues.
Now he should be able to make the pass.
Lawless Allen side by side.
He's got 2 corners straight of being on the inside line.
To finish this move off and listen to if you got room or not.
And he still can't pass her.
Well, at this point, I'm not listening to my
She runs him a little wide.
I'm going to do my leaning off
Crinkles the right rear
finish this
fender.
pass and make some of those exits wide or brakes a little bit deeper on the entry and make sure that it's right next to the door. So he's definitely.
She's driving her ass off to stay in front of him.
Did you see that nice little move Haley did? She kind of bumped him up out of the way with her back bumper.
I'll look at the damn
Just a quick
odds
update.
next
Ian
commercial.
Crafton did go to the infield care center. He has been checked and released. He's out for today.
She blew the last corner and Lawless Allen drove right by her. She was doing such a good job.
Actually qualified the truck, and his day is over. Man,
She blew the
tough
last
weekend for
corner
that
coming
team.
onto the front stretch.
Well, Haley made a little bit of room, and Lawless took advantage of it. Completed that pass. Now he's going to go try to run down Casgrala.
Yeah, and 1 lap ago they were right on Casgrala's bumper, and really it cost them both a whole bunch of time. So it's a real balance of I need to let this driver go so that we don't lose as much time as they just lost, and that's what happens here. You go back and you watch these races as a young truck driver, and you probably would say in that situation if you were Haley, I should.
Ross Chastain is still within 0.4 to a half a second of Kyle Busch. Okay, Michael, give me Larson and AJ. Larson and AJ for the parlay.
About the same speed. Kyle Busch
I'll take
and
that.
Ross Chastain if they were going to be the ones at the front of the field, because we thought they'd be quick, but I love the fact that they're close and they're going to have to race each other all the way to the end here.
Nice battle for fifth. Parker Kligerman. You got Ben Rhodes
Parker
side
going
by
for
side.
fit. Well, Rhodes actually just got by him.
On these road course races.
I hate that damage on Parker's truck. I know that's hurting him a little bit.
And one day, as you mentioned, Kevin, too, it is the first hot weekend we've had.
Well, the trucks and the Xfinity cars are way hotter than the Cup cars. Every time I ever drove a truck or an Xfinity car, I would get out of it and go, "Oh my goodness, I forgot how hot these trucks and Xfinity cars were." So that'll be a long day.
Talked about Nick Sanchez in the opening, solid top 10 for him so far, tracking there just behind the veteran and road course winner Ben Rhodes and road course winner Parker Kligerman. So Nick's getting some lessons here.
Nobody works harder. That young man, 100% dedicated to his craft, to getting better, to learning this team, and it's shown. He's qualified in the top 5 all 4 races this year, running up front. He's led some laps, and he's just doing a nice job adjusting to the truck series.
The way I see it, this is a 3-truck race. Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, and Zane Smith. If you ain't got one of them, you ain't winning today. Here comes Ross. Big move to the inside of Kyle Busch going to turn 1.
That's a great job for him.
Kyle gives him plenty of room. Gets the power down a little better, a little smoother. Didn't wiggle as much as Ross off that corner. But Ross is relentless.
That is out there.
And he takes the lead through the S's.
I bet you there's a lot of respect. Don't you think, Kevin, between these two right now, they both know they've got everything it takes to win the race and just racing hard against each other.
Well, neither one of them wants to lose the time to each other. They both want to be in control of the race for whatever reason, just to keep everything cooler and not having to follow a truck. And you can see Kyle got in the dirt right there. Heather?
And Nick Sanchez sure is having a good run so far. The only thing he said that he's struggling with right now is the front turn of that number 2 truck. But we also have an issue for the number 19 of Christian Eckes, our stage leader.
Eckes has a problem.
He's been telling the team that he's having power steering issues.
Power steering trouble for Eckes.
Bringing it down pit road right now. They did say they're going to have to take a look at it here and have a power steering belt ready, and they're going to go under the hood for the 19. They're also going to put some fuel on it.
That's a tough break there. Such a good truck.
Well, that's the second one, Mike. We heard Carson Hosemeyer talk about his power steering issues too, so you wonder if it's just the heat or if there's a common problem with everything that's happening.
I think the pit road window will open for some of the guys like Chastain and Kyle Busch in about 3 to 4 laps. It'd be interesting to me, though, Kevin, if they don't run it out a little bit further, if they choose to just run it out further because they want to have fresher tires at the end. You said it earlier, and I couldn't agree more. Just has a real green flag feel to it, and you got to have good tires at the end if you could figure it all out.
Yeah, well, Ty Majeski is the guy whose fuel window is definitely going to open probably this lap. He has not pitted at all yet.
One of 3 trucks that has yet to pit today.
That's 19 laps. Talking in the garage area, 19 to 21 laps they think they could go. But, of course, you got to consider they had the parade laps before the green flag. But there's also been some caution.
Random Daniel Dial on board camera.
It is. You guys called it. Ty Majeski.
And Majeski finally pits.
Way, Heather.
19 laps into the race.
He's been quiet on the radio so far, but the team has been telling him he's doing a great job and just to keep up the good work. So they're going to go ahead and come in for their scheduled stop right here. And his crew chief, Joe Shear, they did not want to pit under caution, so this is working out as part of their strategy as well.
Now you just don't want to make any mistakes. Nice smooth pit stop. Don't speed on pit road. Keep that strategy in play. I believe he's all set to go to about lap 40, maybe 38, and have those fresh tires like we talked about.
He's in a very unique position, but the one thing that they will be reminding him of right here is he needs to go. He's got to lay down, you know, as fast a lap as possible to try to gain the time. If the leaders that he was racing around, the trucks that he was racing around, he needs to make sure that he puts in as many fast laps as possible. But he's come out in a very unique position right in the middle of the pack, which kind of takes some of that away because you can't lay those laps down like you need to.
Well, it was interesting, and I think it was Ty Majeski's team that told me yesterday the max they can do on fuel is 22 laps. He just pitted there. We've got about 21 laps left in this race, so they could be on it, maybe a little short. What do you think, Michael?
Maybe just a little short, but you know, when you start changing your gears a little bit lower RPM, you could save some of that fuel. But I just believe there's going to be more pit stops. I think that probably isn't going to play out to have that old of tires on at the end of the race.
But the unique position that it puts Majeski in is
they're on lap
21.
21 out of 42.
They're going to have to pit sooner under green than what he's going to.
Race kind of strung out now. There's not a lot going on, and I'm sleepy. That's why I'm not talking much.
Dive there.
God damn, a lot of crazy moves here.
46 of Dale Quarterly. You saw him make a big move there. Here comes Nick Sanchez around Grant.
3 wide down the long straightaway here.
The 46 truck. He had an early pit stop, but he's battled back in that white and red truck.
Yeah, Majeski and Sanchez both just pitted, and they came out in the middle of these trucks in traffic, and they want nothing more than to do exactly what Ty just did, to clear these trucks that are slower than they are to make lap time while the tires are new.
You know,
Hood is up on the 19.
They're still looking under the hood, and Eckes was so strong early on, led 3 laps, won the first stage, but
yeah, he'll be thankful for that first stage win. That heals a few wounds. There's Ben Rhodes making his way down pit road.
Heather?
And for Ben Rhodes earlier in the day, he was not happy with his qualifying effort, and he said he did not like starting the race that far in the back. It's hard to make track position, but here he is pitting from that 7th spot. They're going to go ahead and add 4
Ben
tires
Rhodes
and
pitted
for him as well, and then they'll send him back out off pit road.
A Cup guy's got to win this race. Why am I streaming
really
this?
Interesting to look at this top 10 right now and how things have shaken out. I see Stuart Friesen just entered the top 10 for the first time today. He had some damage early on in this race.
There's Haley with that damage, but still soldiering on in the 7th position. Just got passed by Kaz Gralla. And then there's Stewart. We talked about his problems. And then Caden Honeycutt. You got to give it up for Caden. He's done a nice job. He's worked his way inside the top 10.
And right behind him, Raja Karuth, he was the first one that was penalized for cutting the course through the S's, so he's worked his way up.
Logan Bearden in the 22. He's been fun to watch today. A lot of good stories.
Yeah, poor Rajay Caruth was the example NASCAR set today. They were going to nab somebody for cutting the track when it's pretty clear everybody's cutting the track through the S's. But they got to single one guy out to make an example and try to scare the other guys straight. Is Kyle going to win? Probably. I think Ross has dominated this race. But when the chips are down, I think Kyle Busch will win.
Yeah, that puts him in a position to just one stop if this thing does something crazy and goes green.
I love this story too. You're talking about good stories. The CarQuest truck here of Caden Honeycutt. He's a Texas driver, a teenager, and his team is really high on him. He's got so much ability, sort of under the radar at times, but does a really nice job. And here in his home state, running inside the top 10, and he's already pitted on a pretty normal strategy. This is a great day for this team.
Caden Honeycutt started this race 24th. He's from Willow Park, Texas. One of 3 drivers from Texas.
And we got a lead change. Kyle Busch takes it back going to turn 1. Remember when I said I think when the chips are down, Kyle Busch will win? We still got a ways to go, but he took the lead back.
41 has never won on a road course in the Truck Series.
This battle is awesome. Seeing these two going toe-to-toe. Make sure you don't cut the corners there in the S's.
Everybody's cutting those S's.
Jamie, how these guys are really battling. What's happening down on pit road?
Kaz Grella on pit road.
Has finally made the stop on pit lane right at the halfway mark, as you said. Seth Smith had the crew from Tricon Garage up on the wall at the ready, but I was watching his lap times. That last lap, he was already half a second slower than the lap before, which was already 3.5 seconds off the pace of the leaders, and it all comes down to how fresh those tires are. Their intention is to go to the end of the race. They're going to have some severe drop-off when they get there.
Hood's still up on the 19. He's still on pit road. He had a good truck, too.
Of the show, Jamie Little.
Parker Kligerman 4th.
Would be all over the board. And I think that we,
Just in this lap alone, Kyle Busch drove away from Ross Chastain by a second.
What it appears that these trucks have kind of swapped. It seems like Ross's truck is starting to fall off, and Kyle just got a heck of a run off the last corner and drove by him.
Yeah, I looked at the lap times 2 laps ago. Ross was a half a second faster, but then the last time by, Kyle was a second faster than Ross. So something's going on there. Ross is fading. Wonder what's going on. It's about time for a pit stop. I think about lap 24 is what the team told me they thought they might pit.
Yeah, and he could possibly be in a position of saving fuel. In order to try
You
to
wish Dale was racing? Which Dale? There's a lot of Dales in NASCAR. Dale Jr., Dale Jarrett, Bobby Dale Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt, me.
The sudden drop off down the straightaway when Kyle just drove by him.
Certainly. There he goes. Is that Daniel Dye battling?
Dye in the 43.
Well, hell, I wish I'd gotten Ross when his odds were better. Ross pits. Final pit stop if it goes green. You can make it from here, just about. And I'm not surprised he beat the 51 to pit road he needed to. Oh, Junior. Well, you couldn't pay Dale Jr. enough money to get him on a road course. Oh my God. Side by side? You're kidding. Oh, fuck. I think it might be about time to get some cookout here in a little bit before the Xfinity race. Whenever this race is over. Tire getting away from the 22 on pit road. I don't know if that'll count. They went and got it, but they got like halfway out to pit, the outer part of pit road. Surprised it's Taylor Gray's first race this year. Parker Kligerman's hood is about to come up if he doesn't pit. He's on the same strategy as Kyle Busch, Zane Smith, and Ross Chastain, so he can pit as soon as possible. I need to tape that fucker down. Not going to win any money, but my pick is in the top 5. Can I say Purple Cobras? For $20, I'll say Purple Cobras as much as you want. I accept Cash App or Venmo. You guys need to start paying me to say stuff. I'll say anything. Kyle Busch still has not pitted. See how much time. I bet Kyle's going to give up a lot of time to Ross Chastain because Ross is going to go hard on those fresh tires. Maybe it'll even out later on. Like I said, Kyle Busch, I trust him longer run into the race, but we'll see how much time Kyle gives up to Ross now. Kyle's still out here on these old tires on lap 25. You'll pay me. You'll pay me to say Purple Cobras?
We welcome you. 18 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Kyle Busch, it's been a good day. He's already led 9 laps today. Jamie?
His crew chief, Brian Patty, had called into pit lane on that last lap. There was a little bit of a discussion over the radio on whether or not it was the best time. He's turning consistent lap times right now, so they told him you have 6 laps maximum. That's the most you can stay out there on fuel right now. So eyes are open. The crew's ready for him. It's going to come down to Kyle when he picks the time.
That's the man making the call. Brian Patty on the pit box right there.
Yeah, he's 2.6 seconds slower than his fast lap, so there's definitely some fall off late in the run.
Daniel Dye's pitting.
Daniel Dye.
Thought you were already subscribed.
On pit road, getting service there.
There's Kyle Busch making his way. Sounds like a little bit of a debate between the crew chief and the driver about what the best strategy might be.
And as the crew chief, when you got the owner of the team in the truck, I guess you kind of have to listen to him, right?
Well, they're in an okay spot because of being the leader and losing less time. I mean, the only person that was close to them racing, I guess, would be Zane and Ross Chastain. But we don't know exactly what is happening with the Chastain truck. Did he have a fuel pressure issue? Did they not get a full fuel? So we don't know that he can actually.
Last lap of the stage this time, Bob.
Showing in 8th right now. So Kyle Busch has a 4-second lead over Zane Smith. Parker Kligerman has driven his way.
Like I said, it's a 3-truck race because Chastain's fast, Kyle Busch and Zane Smith still haven't pitted, and they're 11 seconds ahead of the next truck.
To Ross Chastain in 8th, he's 40 seconds behind Kyle. It takes about 45 seconds to make a pit stop and get from one end of pit road to the other. So that means when the cycle ends, Ross is going to have an advantage. Now we have the question about what's the situation with his fuel pressure.
Jamie?
Well, I just checked with Mike Hillman Jr., the crew chief, and he said they did have a slight fuel pressure issue before they came to pit lane. I mentioned during that pit stop they're making sure it was full. They went back, grabbed the second can of gas of it. Mike said they're confident that they got it all the way topped off.
So they're sure that they got Ross Chastain's truck full of gas. They're sure of it. We'll see. He's going to run hard right now. You know that.
Continue to wait for the 51 when they decide to pit.
Kyle Busch still hasn't pitted.
Sort of
is this the last pit stop? Yes, it should be. If it goes green, that's for damn sure.
Of having a little bit better tire.
Yeah, and I think that we know that he could pit now and make it, and we thought that, but with not needing the points, he might take advantage of that. But I think with the fall off in the tires, Kyle has decided behind the wheel of that truck, I need to run these tires on out and have fresher ones than Ross, which could be a big advantage. He's already run a couple more laps than has Ross, so we'll see how this plays out.
Well, Kyle ran a 2:17.9 the last lap, the lap before, and the last lap was a 2:18.5. So he's definitely, the times are definitely falling off.
And I'm wondering, and you tell me, Kevin, are some of the drivers that have pitted, are they maybe taking it a little bit easier on their tires so they don't burn them up right now and have a little bit left for later?
That's a great question because you look down the leaderboard here and you've got Ben Rhodes who ran a 2:16.70. Got Majeski 17.5, so Kyle's in clear track. So it's interesting to think that he would I would be surprised if he was not going as fast as he could go.
Final lap at stage number 2. Kyle Busch in the 50.
Whoop-de-doo. Kyle Busch gets stage points that he doesn't need. Zane Smith hits pit road on the last lap of the stage because he can get the stage points and still pit when he wants to because he's, what, 11 or 12 seconds ahead of third place?
Wallace Allen with a nice 4th position. Oh, no, something's wrong with
Parker Kligerman.
What happened, Parker? The hood come up? Did the hood come up?
On the racetrack.
Oh, Parker's truck is broken. He missed pit road, too. So he's on the middle of the front stretch. Honeycutt taking a spin through the gravel, and he gets out of it. Well, there's a lot going on all of a sudden. Zane Smith's on pit road. Parker Kligerman's truck shut off going down the front stretch. Honeycutt got spun. Parker, oh boy. That's not going to go uphill. This is going to be a full course yellow.
Well, we see the 98 truck made it to pit road before they closed pit road.
Yeah, he ain't going to get up that hill.
bring out a caution. He can't has to. I can't see him getting up that hill. Do you?
Smoking in here. Electrical.
It's electrical problems for Kligerman. His truck stopped on the front stretch. Caution's out with 16 to go.
Top 10 in the pylon on the left-hand side. Caution is out.
And that is worst case scenario for Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
This has flipped this entire race.
He's got a fast truck. We know he can drive the wheel.
So funny that Parker's truck didn't shut off until right after he got by pit road.
This break. Patty wanted to get to pit road for just this.
They didn't really show all what happened. They showed him spinning through the dirt, and then he kept
Kyle
going.
elected to stay out. We'll see if that plays out to be in his favor.
Yeah.
There's Brian.
Oh, they want a pair of glasses. I don't think he's very happy about that.
The guy who came out perfect in this is Zane Smith.
Yeah, Zane Smith is going to be in a brilliant position. He's going to have fresher tires than Ross Chastain. He just pitted. He's going to stay out, and Kyle Busch and so many others have to pit now. And Kyle Busch sabotaged himself with his own strategy call to, quote-unquote, win a stage that he does not, in a series he's not even getting points in.
To the radio communication, they were probably talking about that 75 truck being there, and they were telling their driver, I guarantee they were telling their driver, watch the light, get to pit road if you can.
And he did.
Chris Lawson, the crew chief for this truck for Zane Smith.
He is such a good dude.
Such a great guy.
I went down and talked to him.
He's a good dude.
I showed him my ideas of what strategy might look like. He said, yeah, they might look like all that. You're right, Mike. And it might look like a whole bunch of other things as well. And this caution flag is a great example of why he said that.
Absolutely. Well, they've won the last 2 races here with 2 different drivers. Todd Gilliland 2 years ago.
Random cut to Daniel Dye's on board again. How much did that sponsor give them? Jesus.
This strategy will work out for him.
The 04. Oh, Deegan wiped him out. That's what happened. Damn.
Yeah,
That's okay. No harm, no foul. He spun. He kept going, and so did she.
When you get too low right there, it just gets rougher and rougher, and then her entry to the corner was just super straight, and the truck just went straight under braking.
How about Caden Honeycutt? Just gassed it through the gravel there, made his way back out. Haley's definitely had an eventful day. Spent some time in the top 10.
15 to go. Pit road's not open yet. It should be open next time around.
So the way this is going to work out is Zane Smith is going to be the leader with the freshest tires. Chastain's got 3 laps less on his tires. And then, let's see, we've got...
And Parker's truck finally just blew the fuck up.
On fire. Or at least smoking really bad.
It's a hub problem for Parker.
Get him out of there. He's getting out anyway.
Parker Kligerman had issues in qualifying yesterday, which
Poor Parker.
changed the engine.
Having a good day with a bad truck.
Drove his way all the way up to 3rd.
He's double duty. He's doing Xfinity later today.
His truck series day is over. He'll be in the Xfinity series coming up later. Kyle Busch leads the field here.
I'll be right back.
everybody.
I'm back. I'm watching a race and stuff. That's what I'm doing. Trying to decide if getting food from Cookout's a good idea or if I want something else. Do I want pizza or do I want Cookout? If I get Cookout, I get an Oreo milkshake, though. That's like the main driving factor behind my decision to get Cookout. That and the cheddar buns. I gotta say, as sleepy as I am, I'm actually enjoying the hell out of this race, despite the fact that a Cup guy's probably going to win. Although Zane Smith appears to be the show stealer here. The caution came out at the perfect time. He says pizza. That's starting to sound like a good idea.
I'm so geeked out about all of this pit strategy, I can't hardly take it because I think we have to give credit to Chris Lawson, Zane Smith's crew chief, for making the call that he did. He came down pit road. He's got new tires. He's going to be the leader. He pitted and he finished second in the stage. And then when you look at Ty Majeski and everything that he has done with his pit sequence, all came down to communication with the spotters and telling
pit road's open.
Get to pit road.
It's the money stop for the drivers who hadn't pitted yet.
We saw Brian Patty visibly upset, but he remained composed over the radio with Kyle. Kyle ultimately apologizing, saying he was sorry. He was trying to figure out what the tire life was like, and to the best of his ability, he thinks that 12 to 15.
Well, you can't predict a mechanical failure, so I don't disagree with Kyle Busch's decision to run long. That's the strategy I would play when I've done road course races in the NASCAR games. Particularly longer road races, I run as long as I can. So at the end, I have less laps and I can just go hard as fast as I can. Michael and his multi-screen experience. Just curious, who's going to watch WrestleMania with me next week? Because I think I'm going to do WrestleMania Saturday night and Sunday. And they've got Ross on pit road with a mechanical problem. Yeah, this is Zane Smith's race.
Yeah, and that's what worried me earlier when they were talking.
I can't remember the last time I saw somebody in the fucking bed of the truck. You seeing this?
That's why we were asking so many questions. We thought there might be something here, and obviously the team didn't lead us down that road completely, but something had to go wrong.
Isn't it kind of fun to be getting in the bed of your truck?
That's not something
How come when a guy's won a truck championship, he doesn't have a few crew guys get in the bed of the truck and ride around?
Stevie Reeves, the spotter, trying to get the communication between Mike Hillman Jr. and Ross, and the question was simple: did the filling it up with fuel help anything? And Ross said it did not.
So Ross is a non-factor now. Ross's day is pretty much ruined.
A second off of what he had been running, so issues in the bed.
That's unfortunate.
Ross Chastain, class of the
One Cup guy down, and Kyle Busch got fucked on strategy. So maybe this will be a legitimate Cup or Truck Series winner.
With Kyle Busch, but things have gone sideways for this team. Hey, coming up next, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series. They'll tackle the twists and turns of COTA. Stay tuned and see all the excitement and every heart-pounding lap. That's next on FS1.
Find it funny, AJ Allmendinger's in this next race. Just what AJ needs, more laps on a road course. Do I like Little Caesars or Pizza Hut? Well, if I'm going to go dine in, give me Pizza Hut. If I'm ordering out, give me Little Caesars. Because ordering Pizza Hut to go sucks. At least our Pizza Hut does. But if I'm going to dine in, Pizza Hut all the way.
It's hard work.
Yeah, you can't trust a niece truck, Michael. They are definitely a lower B-tier team. So we got Zane Smith, we got Ben Rhodes, we got Taylor Gray, we got Kaz Gralla, we got Rajay Caruth and Tom Majeski.
It's kind of difficult to see the chews out there, huh, Kevin?
It is.
Kyle Busch way in the back. Yeah, it's going to take a miracle now for Kyle to be a factor. So I think it's Zane Smith versus Ben Rhodes for the win. Majeski's got a decent truck, but I like Zane Smith to win it here, obviously. He's been the best of this bunch all day. Kyle Busch is 15th. Kyle's going to have to get the restart of the century and pass half these guys going into turn one and still catch a caution to have a chance.
There's a few of you that race with glasses.
And we don't rule out more cautions because there's a lot of guys up here at the front that didn't expect to have a chance to win this race about 10 laps ago, and now here they are.
The funny part is Tony Stewart went through the whole glasses scenario a few years ago, and he used to hide them in his car, and they'd put the window net up, and then he'd put his glass on and close his shield.
Have I been to West Virginia? Many times. Mostly on a train, but I've been through West Virginia a few times.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
What the 17 of Taylor Gray having a heck of a birthday run. Rajay Caruth in the 24. Just his fourth race here of his full-time season. Really nice. He's come back from that penalty for cutting the course earlier today. But it's been all about Zane Smith. Everything, as you mentioned, Kevin and Michael, went his way on that last round of stops, that last caution.
What in the world has happened? We were Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain running away with this race. Zane Smith was...
I'm so glad the Cup guys got fucked over for now. I'm sure the perfect storm of circumstances will still work out for Kyle Busch to have another shot at this.
I can tell you, going into turn one, we know Zane Smith's truck is really good, but we have not seen Ben Rhodes up front. We know he's aggressive. Kaz Gralla, all he wants to do is win. And Taylor Gray, we know he's probably gonna go for it based upon everything I've watched him race in the past.
I think this is going to be a really fun restart with Kyle Busch back in the 16th position. You know, he said he had to apologize to Brian Patty about what he did. Watch this guy go. He's going to try to get all those. He's probably trying to get about 10 of them down into turn one. He's down on the inside.
Let's see what Kyle Busch does. He's 15th. Got to watch this front row, but I'm looking further back to see if Kyle Busch makes a big move in turn one. If he's able to pull it off.
Kyle's back in row 8. The black truck that ducks out there to the inside.
Rhodes and Smith into turn one clean, giving each other plenty of room. I didn't see a big move for Kyle there. Just didn't seem like it was an option. Everybody fanned out. And Kyle's trapped now. Ooh, 3 wide, getting hit in the middle. Oh, God. Kyle got door slammed by 2 trucks on either side.
Kyle Busch restarted back there in 16th.
Oh, and Stuart Friesen gets into the side of Dale Quarterly in the 46, and Corey Haim takes advantage of it in the 11. There's Kyle.
Friesen locking up the right front. And they're 3 wide back here. De Benedetto part of that. Friesen through the dirt.
13 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Zane Smith leads and Ben Rhodes second, and there is just a gaggle of trucks back here.
And Kyle Busch has absolutely nowhere to go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kyle gained 3 spots this lap, but it's not enough. The top 5 to top 10 trucks got really spread out, but Kyle gained 3 spots this lap so far. Looking to gain a couple more. Oh, yeah, he's going to get a couple more. Big move by Kyle there. He's recovered from that really crappy first half a lap and passes 2 more.
Well, for us, we're lucky that we get to watch this, because when you get someone like
Ooh, little contact from the 16. Kyle shakes it off and drives on.
Making a decision on the opposite end of the crew chief's decision and wants to make it up, it becomes exciting passes just like we saw, 2 at a time.
Oh, the 22, Bearden got spun. He'll be able to get that going. He's got to wait for some trucks to come by, though.
Go. Get it refired. We'll stay green here.
NASCAR don't throw a caution.
For a while to try to get it fired because it's such a long lap.
I like this track map. You can see where Kyle Busch in the 51 is.
That was turn 15.
Coming off the last corner to complete the first lap of this run. Smith, Rhodes, Casgarala, Taylor Gray, Rajay Caruth.
That time by Kevin Zane was 0.2 faster than Majeski. Probably really comfortable out in the lead right now.
Yeah, and for Zane, that was a tenth of a second slower than his fastest.
Kyle Busch is 7th.
Clean air and new tires and everything.
These are long laps. There's still a lot of time for stuff to happen. Like I said, Kyle needed to gain a lot of spots on the first lap. He gained a handful. Probably need another caution to really have a chance. He's got some damage, but I don't think it's hurting him too much.
This is fun to watch. And I know these younger drivers who are around Kyle, they like having him in the field so they can watch, they can learn. This is a perfect scenario right
Do I think there'll be a caution?
here.
It's hard to say. You know, there's a lot that has to happen for a full course caution on a road course. So I'd say it's not likely, but it's definitely possible.
Beautiful all-white Mobil 1 Ford Mustang.
Kyle Busch,
Kyle Busch goes to the inside of
6th
Taylor Gray.
place.
He'll make it stick. Takes over that 6th spot.
Well, he knows he has to go because right now he's 6 seconds behind the leader, and if there's no caution, he's pretty much, yeah, he's
Look at this block by Rajay Caruth on Tom Majeski down the straightaway. That was a crazy block.
Good job by Raja. He started off in his Truck Series career at St. Louis, finished
Good
11th.
patience by Majeski to just go around him, not drive through him. As tempting as it is when somebody throws a block like that.
Not the greatest performance, but today he's got it going on.
And these guys are all over each other, and here comes Kyle Busch.
Good to see him doing well. Zane Smith continues to lead.
You better go side by side, fuckers. This is good racing. Ooh, Rajay slides out of that corner. Kyle Busch goes by him. God, Rajay's trying to spin out. He's driving way too hard. Oh, we got a spin in the back. The Ford truck. Purdy got spun, loops it around, keeps going. Looks like Corey Haim was in it too. They drive on. They're trying to make a caution, but they're not doing quite enough. Still a lot of time left. Random cutaway to one of the planes practicing the flyover for tomorrow. Thank you, Fox. We don't care. Zane Smith is checking out 2.5 seconds over Rhodes. Kyle Busch is in 5th, 6 seconds off. I'm ignoring everybody else in between because it's clearly just Zane Smith or Kyle Busch or Ben Rhodes possibly that will win this race. Kyle passing 2 at once there. Kyle Busch is 3rd coming out of turn 1 now. He got by Majeski and Gralla. So let's see what kind of lap. If Kyle, I hate Kyle Busch being in the Truck Series, but if he was able to somehow win this, I would applaud it. It would actually be pretty impressive. Without a caution. If he gets a caution, then I'm not impressed. But if he was able to do this under green, I'd be really, really impressed. He gained a lot of track position in a short amount of time. The trouble was that first half a lap when the green flag dropped for this run where he got held up and it let Zane Smith and Rhodes check out. That's the time he won't be able to get back, I think. Other than that, he's done it flawlessly.
Circuit of the Americas, Zane Smith continues to lead. Ben Rhodes and Kyle Busch picked up another couple of spots. He's back there.
Still 6 seconds off. No real change here on this lap for Kyle.
Zane just ran his fastest lap.
And Zane Smith ran his fastest lap of the race. There you go.
I love it because I want him to.
Yeah, Deegan's 18th, Michael, as long as she doesn't bust her ass or get run over.
Right now he's 6
And you can't rule those out.
seconds ahead.
Can I play Ignition online later? I don't have Ignition. I can't play a game I don't have. And I'm damn sure not buying that game.
Nice move there by Tyler Ankrum. He was able to get on the inside of Taylor Gray.
The leader just crossed the finish line. That means we've reached
I'm going to watch the Xfinity race and then probably take a nap. That's my plans for the rest of the day.
Like
10 to go.
short amount of time.
Raja still hasn't spun out.
It's over
Shocking.
20 minutes.
That's right.
Looked like he was going to be a goner any time now.
Yeah,
That's 2 minutes.
yeah. It took me a while to add that up in my head.
That was pretty good.
It was a little slow. That's why I had to pause.
Okay.
Well, and I just kind of made up 2 minutes at Bristol. I think that's about right. It seems like it.
Something. It depends on which car you're driving.
Well, remember, this circuit here is 3.4 miles, 20 turns, so it takes a while. So stick with us. Plenty more racing, I think, is what Kevin was getting at.
I was out on the track this morning, and I'm telling you, I have so much respect for the drivers anyway. But by the time I was about on turn 13 or 14, I'm like, where the heck am I? How much more is left? I got a wet car this morning, too.
All right, here we go. Mike, tell us where we're going. You know where we're at?
Yeah, we're going down the back straight. We
Okay.
just left turn 11.
Fastest part of the racetrack as they enter turn 12, 160 miles per hour.
How cool is that? 160 down to what, 40? Do you see what's straight ahead? A Ferris wheel. I like it when they have those at the track. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's...
Haley Deegan up to 16th. She gained 2 spots that last lap.
Zane Smith with about a 4-second lead.
She'll try to get you your top 20. Nobody bets on Haley Deegan as much as Michael, but the bar is so low. It's like, yeah, top 20.
You should be able to make it with that caution that was out there, right? Shocking.
Did I hear that correct, Mike? They're in trouble.
They're worried about fuel on the 99. Am I right about that?
21. We thought that was a bit pushing it to get all the way to the end.
So if we make it to the regularly scheduled...
So Kyle Busch might agonizingly get a second place finish if Ben Rhodes runs out of gas.
The great thing about that camera view is you hear the engine and the rev limiter and all that stuff happening over the bumps and gosh, that's a great view because it puts into perspective how violent it actually is. But this guy, Zane Smith in the 38, he is just smooth as glass, running fast lap times. He fell off a little
Smooth
bit
as
that lap,
glass.
but just needs to put solid lap in, lap after lap after lap, and he'll be fine.
Let's get an update on the leader. Heather.
And Kevin, you just mentioned it. Zane Smith out there really comfortable here on these road courses. He told me earlier this weekend that
Road courses and super speedways. Zane Smith. It's a shame his entire Cup career is going to be wasted driving for front row, which means he will never accomplish anything. And he'll be back in the truck or Xfinity Series before you know it. Like everybody else that ends up driving the fucking 38 in Cup. No matter how good they are, because we know John Hunter's good. We know Zane Smith's really good. But driving for front row in Cup is a death sentence for your career. You know, unless you're Michael McDowell, you just hang around and run 15th every week for the rest of your life. Better than running 20th or worse like they used to. Now they run 15th every week.
He restarted 16th. He's made his way up to 3rd, but hard to make up some ground here on these front 2 drivers.
He's not going to catch Zane without a caution.
Yeah.
But
Kyle's running down Ben Rhodes.
he's going to make it interesting. I shouldn't say that. Zane makes one
It
mistake.
could tank. But, we saw Ross's truck. He had the fuel issue earlier. We thought he was tanking, but we've seen some of these trucks.
Like I said, if Kyle wins this race under green, I'll be impressed. If he gets a caution, I'm not impressed.
So you never know.
Yeah, I shouldn't say he's not going to catch him because
Ross is bouncing back from his mechanical troubles. He's up to 11th. He restarted 17th, I think.
We get asked this a lot. If you look at
But he just clearly doesn't have what he had at the start of the race. Part of that's track position.
The red means they're full-time in this series. If it's black, like on Ross Chastain's truck, that means they're part-timers. So that's just for the viewer to distinguish who's running for points and who's just here to have fun and win.
Well, I learned something.
And we're cutting to the stupid plane flying in the air again that nobody cares about.
There's that beautiful flyover.
Nobody cares. Show the race.
I love the flyover.
This isn't Flight Simulator. It's a NASCAR race. Fuck you. Don't care.
There's Ross. He's rallied up to the 11th position after his issues on pit road. The guys in the bed of the truck. Just ahead there of Nick Sanchez, Stuart Friesen. Got some good stories inside the top 10. Has surfaced into the 5th position.
Hold on. What time is the Xfinity race today? I forget. Is it 5?
Tyler Ingram in the 16th.
Checking real
Found his
quick.
way back to the
Xfinity's
top
a
10.
5.
Rajat
Okay.
Carew, Tanner Gregg,
Got it.
Guggenheim in 9th, and Taylor Gray. Yes, they are brothers. That rounds out the top 10. But Kevin, this leader, Zane Smith, you know, last year, people didn't realize his background was in karting on road courses. So when he came here, he wanted to show people what he's capable of, and he did. He went to victory lane. But you're familiar with this kind of background.
Yeah,
Just logging laps, waiting to see if a caution happens. It's obvious Zane Smith has the race won if there's no yellow.
He's on the same, Keelan is on the same path that Zane went on, and that is kart racing in Europe. And
Kyle Busch is closed in on Ben Rhodes, hasn't made the pass yet. Still over 6 seconds behind Zane Smith with 8 to go.
Background in road racing and has a great upbringing in karts.
And his crew chief is great at the strategy call as well, so it's all working for Zane Smith.
I love that he got second in the stage, pitted, got his track position, got his tires, everything worked perfectly.
That's always the question. Can you have it all? Yes, he did.
I want it all. I want it all. I'm fussing at the airplane because Fox keeps showing it while there's a race going on. Nothing against the plane or anyone in it. I just don't give a fuck about it when I'm trying to watch a race.
Kyle Busch, he got to Rhodes in a hurry, Jamie, but he just hasn't been able to do anything with him yet. Ben's doing a really nice job wearing our driver's eye cam and has that thing right up there in the second spot. And then there's Ty Majeski back in the fourth spot. Just steady and consistent, not really a road racer, but just there all day long.
Solid day. They made a great adjustment to their strategy, and here he sits running fourth, and that'd be a great day. And sometimes that's just what you want to achieve on the road courses. Let's put ourselves in position to have a solid day, get a little bit off strategy, do something different, but then just don't make any mistakes.
Kyle Busch looked like he was smoking the tires going into turn 1. I couldn't see if he missed the apex or not.
Such a great story with Ty Majeski last year, first time full-time in the series, and he made it to the championship 4. And when you look at a driver like him, his background is not road course racing, and he figures it out, and he finds a way to be fast.
Busch all over Rhodes.
And that's what it takes
Can't
to
get by.
Championship. So I would say right now Ty Majeski is one of those favorites going.
He's a racer. That's exactly what you're saying. He's just a hardcore racer and can drive anything.
Good battle here for second.
Kyle, wow. The way he got off that corner, it was all he could to not run through Ben Rhodes. And Ben sends it deep into the next corner. Swings out wide, coming off, stays in front of Kyle.
See on that map exactly where the leader is, the 38, and then where Kyle Busch is in the 51.
Yeah, and in theory, Kyle Busch, you know, he's got what? It says 7 laps, but he's probably got 5. In theory, he should have a pretty easy.
There we go. Oh, Kyle Busch and 99 dooring each other. Some donuts on the side of the 51 now. Kyle had to kind of rough him up to make the pass, although Ben was leaning on him. Ben didn't give him any room.
8 tires are better than 4. That's right.
That's a good run, though, for Ben. He won Daytona road course, so we know he can get it done on any type of track. Kid from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kyle lost a little bit of time getting that position, but on the last lap, he was a half a second faster than Zane Smith. Heather?
And I mentioned earlier today how Ben Rhodes was not happy with how he qualified and was frustrated with
Kyle finally gets to second. They're coming to 6 to go. All right, Kyle, you got to gain a second a lap. Get after it. Not going to happen, but he's got clean racetrack in front of him now with 6 laps to go. Still plenty of time for a full course yellow. You just never know what's going to happen. What happens when somebody's throttle hangs or their brake goes out and they go up that hill and ramp off it and crash into that spotter stand up there?
He started in the back. He raced his way inside the top 20. Same thing happened to him last week, Jamie. He had some issues under the hood. They got it fixed, and he drove to a top 20. So as a kid like Daniel making his first truck starts of his career, it's really cool to see him just persevere, push through it, and get some results.
The 19-year-old out of DeLand, Florida, carrying that on board for us, doing a nice job. And it's a lot to learn when you go from the ARCA Menard Series, move up to the truck.
Somebody running 19th is not doing a nice job. That's mediocre. Stop championing mediocrity, okay? 19th place is not, oh my God, he's doing a good job. It's not.
He said, I realize the mental game of racing.
It's mediocre.
Having fun and just
Average to mediocre.
work at your craft, and he's done it for this day.
Well, I'm glad you said something about the mental.
If you're not in the top 10, you sucked today.
You think of a lot of other sports, and everybody talks about the mental games and the mental mindset. Racing is the exact same way. You have to be in the right mindset. I don't want to talk too much because we've got a good race happening here. Yeah.
The 15, the 17, and the 41. 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Brothers battling. Taylor Gray.
Mikey actually made a good joke for once. He said 2 shades of gray. That's actually kind of funny. Ha ha ha. Ooh, 17, wheel hopping. Opens the door for his brother. He goes wide. He goes wide.
Tanner, it's your brother's birthday. No thanks. What Tony say back in the day? I wrecked my grandmother to win this race. You wrecked your brother to move forward, right?
I've done that. I wrecked 2 of our KHI cars one time to win at Montreal in an RCR car. My wife was not happy.
Hard for them to be mad at you.
5 to go this time by. Kyle has made a minimal gain, if any. It doesn't look like he's really gained any on Zane. 5 laps.
To go here. Zane Smith continues to lead. What a day it has been for him.
Kevin, what's this like? Zane Smith, 5 to go. He's thinking.
Yeah, Mikey doesn't know what it's like to have a big lead late in a race. So, Kevin, tell Mikey about it.
How much is he paying?
What happened to Matty D? I don't know. He looked strong early in the race. He flew through the pack from the back of the field. He got to like the top 15 under green. And I don't know, he's just falling off the face of the earth. I can't tell you. Fox hasn't said anything about him.
The bump affect the driving of his truck under braking. But Zane is just in a rhythm, and that's goes right into tune with what this racetrack is. Being in a rhythm, doing what you have to do. Last lap, he matched Kyle Busch's lap time within the thousandths of a second.
You love
That's
my
all he needs
voice.
to do, right?
You're the only one. I think everybody else here just tolerates it.
Don't overdrive it. Don't spin the tires. Just do what you have to do, and you're going to win this race if the caution doesn't come out.
Nice to see Ben Rhodes having such a good run. He's had a good couple of races in a row. He's got a new crew chief this year, and Jared Prince. Thorsport, they mixed up the crew chiefs a little bit this year, and you never know if it's going to stick. Chemistry has a lot to do with things, but I think this is a great pairing. He had a good run here last year, but he's running 1 position better than he did in 22.
I'll tell you something interesting, and I'm not going to call Zane Smith and tell him. In 6 of the last 7 road races, the final green flag run was 3 laps.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, boy.
He is not going to want to hear that.
You heard that, Larry Mack trend of the race.
He's going to have to roll up them sleeves and go door to door with Kyle Busch.
And I'll promise you, that's not
Caution flies, you're probably pitting again, right?
On the pit boxes because they all have
I would think.
We have the percentages of cautions. We have the percentages of green flag runs, yellow flag runs, when to pit, when not to pit. Whether 4 tires are better than
You're
2
pitting
tires,
if there's a
whatever it
caution.
is, they have the information on that pit box, so they're seeing it. Just don't tell Zane.
There's so much going on in those pit boxes. I wish that when you're pit reporting, you could show it and talk about it, but that whole team chat thing that you guys always have, people are scanning other teams. They know exactly what they're saying and when they're going to pit. There's just so much information. I don't know how you figure out what you need and what you don't in order to win the race.
Chris Lawson, Brian Patty, the 2 crew chiefs that are going to go head-to-head for this win, it looks like. And they're all thinking about the stats and wondering what their plan will be, how they will go win this race if they do have to line up and do a restart.
Zane Smith in the 38 kicked off the season with a win once again at Daytona. And he's like, we can't just put that in the...
You know, it is weird how Toyota can't win without Kyle, but remember, it didn't matter who was driving that 54 car in Xfinity. That one year, Nemechek, Bell, Truex, Kyle Busch, and Ty Gibbs all won in it. And then you saw at Phoenix what happens to Kyle Busch in the Xfinity Series when he doesn't have an overpowered ride.
We'll see if he can make it 2 for 2 here.
He has to wreck his own teammate Chandler Smith for a position late. I mean, those Xfinity races are a little harder when you don't have the best car by a mile.
You're in the playoffs and you're going to be racing for a championship, and then it becomes, how can I get better? See Ross Chastain there, right in the dirt in turn 8. You want those right side tires to be hooked on the left side of that sidewall of the tire, pull you around the corner right up the hill if you do it right.
You know, we talked about 3 guys that we thought we would be talking about all day. At the beginning, it was Ross Chastain, it was Kyle Busch, it was Zane Smith. Ross had some issues in his trunk with his fuel cell. And then Zane just made the perfect pit stop. They pit it right when they needed to, and Kyle was a lap late on
Yeah, I'd say you got your, even if Haley Deegan got spun, I'd say you got your top 20 locked down pretty good.
They are right now with a big advantage to Zane.
I'm so impressed that Ross Chastain has bounced back after those issues. He was on pit road quite a while, and now here he is running up there in 7th.
Well, Chastain got a caution. Who's to say he's out of it yet?
Yeah, they fixed the fuel pressure issue in the trunk under caution.
And then another shout out to Zane, Ben Rhodes, because his tires are older, but yet he's hanging right in there with Kyle Busch. There's Ben.
Wow, it's violent.
Let's listen to how violent it is, and listen to how he works the gas.
Well, this is coming off the last corner, turn 20.
3 laps to go.
Turn 1 up here. Right when you want to push on the brake zone, you'll hear the truck jump.
Oh, there it was.
Coming into turn 1, there'll be another big jump right here.
There it is.
Clean that back up right there. 137.96. Out back is a 47. Clean that up a little bit here. Nice and smooth. Don't overdrive it here, but
3 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Had 5 different leaders, 9 lead changes, 3 cautions today for 5 laps. I think it's been the perfect amount.
Where are you at right now with your brain kind of bouncing around like this all day long? I mean, that's a lot to deal with.
It's hot. You're bouncing around all day. It is a lot to deal with. And the biggest thing you want to do is just minimize the mistakes. How do I lose the least amount of time? I don't want to make a mistake to where I lose a second. I want to make a mistake to where I lose a 10th. So you have to have the visual markers. You have to have the rhythm and the flow with the throttle pedal and the brake and everything that happens from lap to lap. And you have to make the adjustment from the lap before. You know, if you made a mistake we're coming up to turn 12 right there. If you made
Ross is up to 6th.
Let's make the adjustment this lap.
I'd like to see Ross get to 5th and catch a caution with 2 to go.
Throughout the race.
Such a mental game. As you
I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Ross giving a wave out the window to Corey Heim. Thanks for the respect.
Time is ticking down.
See if I can catch Tyler Ankrum getting the top 5. That's Chastain's mentality.
That was a battle for 6th. Chastain won that, so Corey Heim moves back to 7th. A lot of these trucks with some damage.
Yeah, it's such an adjustment. You know, Ross is in the position where he's in that mindset of, okay, I need to maximize my day to get the most points for my team, because when you
I'm surprised at how clean this race has been. This is the Truck Series, Ron. This has been a really clean race.
In the Truck Series, but how many times have we talked about, oh, that guy missed the playoffs by a point, that guy missed the playoffs by 2 points. Whatever the scenario is, you have to maximize the day. And this team has done a great job in just keeping themselves running.
2 to go.
And Ross coming back
This is the last
top 5 so far.
lap where we can have a caution and force a restart.
2 laps to go.
2 to go.
Circuit of the Americas.
Casgrel has dropped to 9th on this run.
Straight year in a row. Can Kyle Busch close that gap?
Kyle Busch has closed the gap, but obviously not nearly enough. Still about 5 seconds.
Ben Rhodes in 3rd, Ty Majeski in 4th, and Tyler Ankrum. Really nice run for him today, top 5.
Yeah, you see there on the pylon just outside the top 5, Nick Sanchez, 8th, got that great finish at Atlanta after a couple of problems in the first 2 races, and now a solid run for the 2 truck as you see him here making his way up the track. Gain bridge on that 2 truck, beautiful truck. Good job for Nick.
Another driver who came up racing go-karts on road courses from Miami, Florida, so background in road course racing, but again, he's brand new to the Truck Series, so just getting used to everything. Live pit stops, a lot of things for these drivers to take in, and he's just run with it this year and does everything he can to get better.
Well, this is the best way to get better. You put yourself on the racetrack in competition, and you see things that are happening from your competitors, where to be on the racetrack, and when you get home, you say, okay, I wasn't good under braking, I didn't do a good job managing my tires, I did a great job at this. Whatever it is, you have to be able to analyze yourself. You have to be honest with yourself to
Stunned this has been such a clean truck race.
I did this good. Okay, if you win today, you still have to analyze yourself like you lost. If you lose today, they have to all be the same.
Tyler Ankrum's 5th. He's not going to get a top 5 because here comes Ross. Maybe he can hold him off, but I doubt it.
Nice battle for a spot in the top 5.
Ankrum and Corey Heim have had good days, all things considered, especially if you look at the body of the 11 truck. how beat up he is.
Of course, an opportunity race, and you look at the stats. 18 different winners in the last 18 road course races. I don't know, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch both won last year, so I'm thinking maybe that streak comes to an end today.
Opportunity 500. And unpredictability. We talked about that.
Coming to the white flag, Zane Smith.
Like we thought it would.
Zane Smith, no friends around him.
One to go. He's made it to the white flag. Just got to bring it around one more time.
All right, I can see where Kyle is in my mirror. All I need to do is just keep this thing in between the lines, not make any big mistakes right here. When I come to the S's right here, make sure I have myself plenty of room to not be in position for a penalty.
Perfectly through the S's.
You know, they put themselves in position, like you said earlier, Jamie, to capitalize on that caution flag and be on pit road and still get the stage points. And you know, Kyle's team was on the other end of the spectrum. They didn't pit at the right time and put themselves behind, and that's really what put Zane in position to be in contention to control this race was the pit stop. It all came down to the pit stop, and we talked about that before the race started. A lot of what's going to happen today is going to happen on top of that pit box.
But some good news for Kyle Busch. He might have gotten beaten anyway, because the last time by about a half a second faster was Zane Smith, and he's got a 5-second lead, so that is a really fast 38.
Zane didn't have to run nearly as hard this run as Kyle Busch did, so I don't know where Mikey's getting that info from.
I heard from Zane Smith at the start of the show, and he said, you know, I feel like the truck was a little bit better in some areas last year. I don't know, he led 11 laps last year, and he's already led 15 laps today, so I'd say in race, it's been a little bit
So
better.
yay, a race without stage cautions. If we had stage cautions, this race would still be about 10 laps to go, probably. At least.
Making perfect calls. This kid has driven a perfect race.
23-year-old out of Huntington Beach, California.
There's Chris.
Won the last 2 straight races here in Austin. 2 different drivers looking to do it again.
All good. That's what you want to hear on the last lap. Nice gap.
He got a little roughed up. He's got some damage on that truck. He had to earn it.
Off the final corner.
The last turn.
Should have bet on Zane Smith. I went for a longer shot. Got burned by mechanical issues. Zane Smith wins. And way back there is Kyle Busch for second. And a teammate battle for third off the final corner. Who's going to get to the line? Ben Roach ran out of gas. Majeski beats him to the line for third.
Here on the front straightaway, they need to throw a caution flag.
Everybody's having to avoid. He's dropped.
Ankrum fourth, Chastain fifth, Hamm sixth, Sanchez seventh. Tanner Gray eighth, Rhodes ninth. He makes it to the line, ninth place. Oh, there was debris at the start-finish line.
Coast across for a 10th place finish.
Zane Smith wins.
End of the race, caution comes out. Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Ty Majeski brings it home third. Tyler Ankrum and Ross Chastain with a top 5 after all of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that need to think they're through today. Ross Chastain, Zane Smith, Ty Majeski. Those guys all did a great job on pit road.
No quit. And he'll take that nice long lap around to wave to the fans. What a day it was for Zane Smith with 16 laps.
We're either going to get Domino's or Papa John's, whichever one has a cheaper special, guys. As soon as the stream's over, I'm about to check.
How good would Ross Chastain be?
Yeah, we talked in the pre-race.
You know what? I can go ahead and end the stream.
What do we do to beat Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain?
Zane Smith won. La-di-da-di-da. We don't need post-race interviews for this. So I'm going to go take a break, see about getting something to eat, and then I'll come back a little after 5, and we'll do the Xfinity race. I'll see you guys in a bit.